right across the street from City Hall, the mayor had told me about this plot of land that's in between one building and another building called Restoration Ministries. He said every Sunday at noon, he goes there to pray for the city, pray for the citizens of Harvey, the villages around it. And I was like, well, why don't we just start there? You know what I'm saying? You've already planted a seed. Obviously, that's already where the energy is growing. And so thankfully, Restoration Ministries blessed us with permission to start on that wall. Amoz and the other artists, you know, we created things that we knew would tell a great story. And so that's where we start. It's just the first. It's just the first wall of many that I think, you know, we can start to attack the city with light in the same fashion that it was attacked with darkness. And I'm excited about that.
Amoz, how did you go about creating your piece? And tell us a little bit about the piece that you created and also bringing the other artists on for this one mural.
So the piece that I created was actually inspired by the series of murals that I want to create that pretty much inspired people to use their voices to spread light and to share their testimonies to hopefully heal themselves and then heal people around them. So I wanted to put a piece on the wall that people can pretty much look at it. Hopefully they gain this inspiration from looking at the piece. And then when it comes to, you know, bringing the other artists in and, you know, them pulling, you know, inspiration from this concept, really each artist pretty much created a piece that they felt would bring light to the community. So we, you know, like LaRoyce said, we spoke on, you know, what narrative can we bring, what story can we present on this wall? So with each piece being a pillar to bringing light to the community, it's like we want this to almost look like almost like a comic strip where you could look across it and then it tell a story of light, but from each artist's individual perspective.
Sometimes it's just about, look at this cool wall behind me, let me take a photo, and then you leave without necessarily knowing the meaning behind it. So maybe a reason if someone was to go to the mural and to take, you know, photos either of it or themselves by it, you know, that moment of why you need to stop and reflect about the message behind, you know, what we're seeing.
For me, you know, it's the reconditioning of the minds, right? When you go to communities like Harvey, you see a lot of signs and symbols. You know, it's communities like ours that are the most populated with cigarette billboards, liquor sponsors, you know, all of the pretty pictures of the vices that we know are, you know, part of the reasons why we feel so afflicted a little bit. And so I think it's important for us to add balance and counter those signs and symbols with signs and symbols of positivity, power, you know, and that's why it's important for us to do more than just this one wall, so that we have more than one source of enlightenment and balance, so to speak.
Now, LaRoyce, I do want to ask you a little bit about Chicago PD. A couple episodes left for the season. What can we expect for Atwater? What can you tease about the next week's episode?
Man, you know, we're getting down to the wire, man. You know, the way that we started this season and the way that we end, I think tells a pretty full circle story, right? It's like, you know, we start with the heaviness and the weight of George Floyd that informed our first few episodes, especially coming out of last year's season finale. You know, and we've watched concepts like reform and change and balance be challenged through every character. You know, every character has had their run-in with reform a little bit, right? In a way that it challenges the way that they would normally police. And so as we continue to try to reimagine what policing feels like or can feel like in Chicago specifically, you know, I think by the end of the season, we'll see people come to grips with exactly who they are in this new space. And the team is going to have to decide what side they fall on, right? Is it reform and progress, or is it the old school way that we're used to? You know what I'm saying? That comes from a place of passion, but, you know, it might not be positive. So it's one of them things where, you know, I think we'll see the team, we'll watch people on the team make those decisions for themselves, and it might separate the squad that we love. But I think that makes for good drama. That makes for dope TV.
is that not necessarily on Chicago PD, but on Chicago Med, Tori DeVito and Yaya DaCosta are saying goodbye to the One Chicago family. As far as like the other shows and everybody getting together, is there any type of goodbye party?
I think that the whole world is going to miss Tori DeVito. The whole One Chicago universe is going to miss a Yaya. You know, when you hear about those things, I know especially from me, it's hard to imagine the world without them. And so they're definitely going to be missed. So yeah. And I mean, there's two strong artists, powerful women, great friends, you know what I mean? So it's, you know, I was heartbroken when I heard, but I also, but my heart was also happy for them both, because I know that they're going on to do powerful things, and, you know, they're walking away with smiles on their faces. So I can't complain too much, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's I'm looking forward to see how we recover from those losses, because they will be great losses, but I know they're going to go gain great things on their own.